A little bit. Yeah, yeah. Hello, how are you doing? Very, very good.
I just kinda wanted to ask kind of like a big picture question, if you don't mind. But with just everything that's going to change in the college football landscape next season, Washington going to the Big Ten, the playoffs are going to expand. What does it mean? I guess what does it mean to be a part of the last one of this? And how do you view this game? Moving forward, what you guys are moving to how it's going to change referees.
Yeah, it's really been an honor to be a part of the system that's always forever changing and evolving. And the one thing that we like on our end is we've been a part of a few lasts. Just being in the Pac-12 conference. So on our end, it's something that we definitely embrace. We enjoy. We like it. And sometimes change is good. And the one thing that we learned in 2020 is you have to have a real high level of adaptability. And that's really what the college landscape is becoming. You just have to have the ability to adapt and know that nothing is ever going to be the same. Nothing is ever going to be consistent. And in 2 years, everything could change again. So you just have to always keep an open mind to change.
Sorry. Is there any sense of like nostalgia? Just like this is the last time the Big 12, Big 10 team is going to face off in the national championship, and they've obviously been heated battles over the past decades.
Yeah, being a Big Ten person, growing up in the Midwest, you always saw the Big Ten and the Pac-12, playing in those championship caliber games, especially primarily in the Rose Bowl. So to see it change is definitely kind of a bittersweet moment for a lot of people and in a lot of homes. But that's kind of the changes happening just in the landscape of college football.
Is there one game or a few games that stick out to you between those two teams or two conferences?
Well, I just think if you just think about the history of having the Ohio States, Michigans, Iowas, Illinois, just all of your Big Ten schools playing all of the Pac-12 schools. I know being from the Midwest, everyone really got to embrace and enjoyed coming out west in the end of the year for the holidays. So it's not really one particular team per se. It's just the moment of knowing we grew up listening to Keith Jackson coming on at 2:30 in Missouri, talking about the granddaddy of them all, and seeing that kind of it's evolving. It's unique, but it's definitely a good time for sure.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. Could you comment generally on just the dynamic of the age of what, five offensive years on the defensive side, or 6-year guys, fifth-year guys,
Yeah, yeah.
fourth-year guys,
Y-
fourth-year freshmen?
Yeah, the one thing that is good is maturity definitely helps. When you have individuals that have what we call sweat equity, the equity in your program, they have playing time, they have maturity, they understand how to win, how to practice, how to prepare. You can see this being a great benefit, and that's something that we're getting to experience right now.
You guys have won so many close games down the stretch, tons of close games. Has that maturity, do you think, been a factor in you guys being able to win those games?
Yes, some for sure. And the one thing that we always tell our players is definitely luck favors the prepared. So if you prepare well and you're mentally ready, often the ball is going to bounce your way more times than not. So we've definitely been happy with how the ball has bounced. And believe me, we don't want to be in those games being that close because just as everyone else is on the edge of their seat, so are we as well. And we're in the thick of it. Yeah, come on.
Wait, you might have kind of been asked about this earlier, but I mean, this becomes a conference game starting in October. And I know you've considered that, but just kind of what are your thoughts on that? I know that a lot of people are hurting because of the Pac-12 going away,
Yeah.
but yet, the Big Ten's got to really be happy with this matchup.
Yeah, I would imagine all of the Big Ten folks in Chicago in the office, they're sitting like a rat in a cheese factory right now, for sure. But it's just kind of the new landscape of everything that's going on. I think, as I was saying earlier, it's definitely a bittersweet moment to see a conference kind of dissipate. But the one great thing about life is there's always going to be evolution, and you have to be ready to evolve. Thank you very much.
Coach, when you're 25 and 2 in a place in 2 years, you don't think about program development, like on the outside, but you guys are still just less than 2 seasons in. Like, where do you think the program is headed? And I'm talking to you specifically about, even though you're at a championship level, like what's left for the defense?
Yeah, but I think just like you said, the one thing that we have to do, and one thing that we know, development is constant and development is consistent. So those are the things that we're always continuously, consistently doing in our program, where the development of all of our young players, even sometimes the development of some of our mature players when it comes to their football preparedness or just understanding football more. So there's still a lot left to do on our end, because we know once you're done with this particular season, it's a whole nother season and a whole nother football team, and that's the exact approach that we took coming into this year from last year. It's a whole nother season. It's a new team. We have to start from ground zero and make sure that the foundation is thick in order for us to be able to win close games.
Jim Harbaugh teams are always built very strong in the trenches. And you look at that Michigan offense, J.J. McCarthy's very athletic. They have a really creative and complex running game. What kind of challenges does that offense present?
A lot of challenges. Probably the main aspect, like you said, they definitely define the elements of physicality, and as a coach, it makes you so happy, because this is what really defines football from any other sport, the elements of contact that you have to have. So we have to be able to match that exact same physicality with us on defense as well. Yeah, Ella, how you doing, Heather? How you been? So great to see you. I would say from us being able to be opportunistic and being able to take the football away. I think that's where we probably have made the biggest strides, being able to go attack the football, and that's one of our primary focuses as well. Being able to be great on third down, being better in the red zone, and being able to get the football away and give it to our offense. And something that we talked about potentially being able to have to happen was, because of our offense, us being able to be better or being good on fourth down, because teams are going to have to go for it because of our offense. So we feel those are some things that we definitely have stressed, have improved on, and that's probably one of the reasons why we're here at this point in time.
How do you try to create those takeaways against a team that is not very technical?
Well, often, Heather, it's got to be a mindset. When you have your opportunity, it's got to be kind of the one-shot, one-kill mentality. When you see the ball, you've got to go attack it. When you have an opportunity, you just have to be a ball hawk. And hopefully those things will happen. And I do definitely commend Michigan for sure, because the reason why they are where they are is because they've done a great job of being able to take care of the ball. Thanks, Heather.
Michigan is a football team that really has made trick plays a staple of its game. You see the double pass against Alabama. Pretty much every game they're doing something tricky or some sort of fake. How do you prepare for that on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah. Probably the biggest thing, just for all of the players, you have to understand your rules and always keep your eye disciplined. And I definitely commend Coach Harbaugh and his staff, because one thing that they always have, it's always been Halloween. They have always had a bag of tricks in every game that you see in some way, shape, or form. So we just have to make sure on our end that we keep our eyes where they need to be, stay disciplined with respect to your job, and make your plays when you're at the point of attack, because you know you're going to get those trick play elements at some point in time. You just don't know which one you're going to see.
How's Braylon Trice involved?
Braylon is a joy to coach. The one thing that we love about Braylon is he does a lot of things kind of that you don't have to coach, because he plays so hard. And that's one thing that we require of all of our players on the team. If you play hard, a lot of things will sort themselves out. He has what you call a high running motor. And that's where he's been very effective, because he's going to go hard, play in, play out. And that's one thing that we see as a strength for him, and that's why he's going to have a chance to make this his occupation someday.
How do you manage that kind of fire?
We'd rather say whoa than sick 'em.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
When speaking on specifically Michael Penix's relationship with the offensive line, the receivers, from your perspective, how has that stood out over the course of the season, and how has that evolved as well?
Yeah. To see how probably just how he has evolved just as a leader, it's literally what you would see in a book. From square one coming in, where he only knew a few people. I know myself and Coach DeBoer were probably the few people that only knew. I knew him because I had a chance to recruit him when he came to Indiana. I was one of the coaches that was there. So to see how he really kind of opened up and was embraced by everyone, he had to started off quiet. Just because he didn't know anyone, they didn't know him. It was like he was kind of coming into their territory, and he was going to win them over with his work and with his actions. And he did exactly just that.
We know that Michael has battled unfortunate injuries. That must have been hard for him to. You mentioned him being rather quiet in the beginning, to sort of open up as time goes on. It's speaking in terms of those sorts of things. Those relationships with coaches and players, when going through those adverse times, you talked about this. Can you elaborate more on how that has helped them stronger quarterback over the season?
Well, I think the one thing that we get to enjoy is, whether it's sport, whether it's life, just being able to live in some way, shape, or form, you're going to endure or experience some kind of adversity. And really, the old saying, life isn't about kind of what happens to you, but more how you respond to it. That is a testament to him. And that's kind of how he has been, where he has always been I'm going to respond, I'm going to attack, I'm going to get better, I'm going to improve, I'm going to be better through this. That's kind of the mentality that he has always had. And when you have a growth mindset like he has, that's what you get. And every time he's gotten injured, it's been a setback, but he's had a major comeback. And he would have one setback, he would still have a major comeback. So to see his mindset, it's probably more a testament to his family and his parents, to how he was raised. And that's something that we appreciate in him and his family, because he's been raised to understand and know that I can deal with adversity, I can attack adversity, and I'm going to be okay through adversity.
What makes him so special and so hard to defend as an opposing defensive coordinator?
That left arm magic. When the ball comes off of his fingertips, it is coming off howling, and he can put the ball exactly where you want the ball to be put. It's kind of one of those scenarios where it's not going to be put on the bullseye. It's going to be put in the center of the bullseye, exactly where it needs to go. And that's something that he does. He can make those decisions very fast. He's very elusive. He can get away when he needs to, but he can really put the ball in the hands of some of the skill guys right where it needs to be. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Does having so many veterans, does that kind of allow you to kind of layer on things that you maybe would not have been possible even when you guys took over last year?
Yeah. When you have some individuals that are kind of football savvy and do understand football, you can push the envelope a little bit from their learning and understanding. So that's something that we try to do for them coming into year one and into year two. We said we're really going to push the envelope just from our knowledge and understanding from a player's perspective, and they have really embraced it. And one thing we told them: as long as you grind, refine, and compete, you will be just fine. And that's exactly what they've done. They've kept their head down, they've stayed to it, they've worked, and they've gotten the job done.
Did it help at all, especially setting that culture when you took over, kind of coming in and having so many guys that have been around the program at least?
Yeah. And one thing that we did is, we told them, hey, we choose you. We want you. We're going to embrace you. And we want you here in this program. And I think when they saw that we were all bought into them, in turn, we got 16-fold improvement and buy-in from them. And that's exactly what the program is all about. And it all starts from everything from him right there. Because we know we love him. We're going to lead under him and do exactly as we want.
I was just talking to Eddie about his story, going from walk-on to where he is now. What surprises you about the path he was on? Were you surprised when you heard that he had gone through that walk-on experience to get to where he is?
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of funny. I knew of him when he was in high school because a young man that I coached was his high school coach. But so he had some chances to go play at some smaller places, and he said, "No, you know what? I want to do this. I can envision this," and that lets you know when you have someone who is destined to want something, and you have your mindset to being able to do that, you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to. And he is a true testament to that, because when it comes to his work, there probably maybe only one other person that you may see in the facility working, trying to prepare as much as him. Now, he's one of those guys, he'll send you a text message at 5 o'clock in the morning. "Hey, coach, on play 6, we're looking at this. Should I do this?" And that's exactly what you want when you have someone who has a perspective of another coach on the field. Thank you.
You talked about the defense from a complementary team perspective. I think I remember the Apple Cup, right? On the fourth down play, and it was like, what would you have done if they hadn't made that fourth down? Like, I guess they were just going to have to get the stop.
Exactly.
Like, when you've got such a dynamic, ambitious offense, like, what does it mean to play a defense that complements that? I mean, you're not going to be microscopic in what you give up because you guys score so quickly.
You know what you have is you have something that really defines team football. The offense works with the defense works with the special teams, and obviously vice versa throughout everything. But when you have an offense that can make it right and a defense that can make it right, now you're in these positions that we're in right now. So the one thing that we know, no matter what goes down, we have the back of our offense, and they know that. And we know no matter what goes down, the offense has our back. And that's what you get when you're in great programs. Each individual, each team, each unit can complement each other.
What's the hairiest situation that
The hairiest? Oh, you're saying like when we're on the sidelines watching, and we probably have Reese Davis and those guys up there saying, "Hey, wait a second, it's 4th down and 1, and they're going for it on their own 20-yard line." That probably be one of the more hairier scenarios. But we know we have confidence in Coach Grubb and what they're going to call. So most of the time we're going to be ready and prepared, and we kind of take the fireman's perspective. If we ever have to get on the field in a sudden change scenario, it doesn't matter how you got on the field, we have to get off the field. And that's the perspective that we take and the model that we kind of put in the mindset of our players. Thank you. Hey, that's exactly what happened in the Texas game. We're like, "Hey guys, I think we're probably going to go for it. So let's make sure we're up and ready." It was so stressful, but we really just had a lot of trust in our guys. We kind of knew what was going to happen, so we said, "Hey, the ball's going to have to come out fast. Guys, go make your play." You have prepared for these moments, because we've seen some of these very same moments in practice against our wide receivers. So it's been kind of one of those scenarios. That's why you saw when he just batted the ball away, we had something like that maybe 3 weeks ago in practice in a 2-minute drill where an EJ had to bat the ball away. So. To Michigan, probably your Oregon. You know, they're kind of built very, very, very similar to them. You know, the run game. Now the runners are a little bit different. Obviously, in Corum, he can get downhill, and they do a great job of really what we call pushing the pile with the offensive line, to where you can stop them for a 1-yard gain, and all of a sudden you look up, it's 2nd and 4. You're like, hey, wait a second, how did that happen? You know. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Reese. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Hey. The one thing we've had is we've had that Drew Fowler in there making those plays for your brother.
You saw, I mentioned how the fans can listen in too. The radio. They can look at you up there on that screen.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's like up here, it's channel E6, so they turn their radio.
Channel 6. Oh, okay. Well, we'd like to thank all the fans for their support. Yep. Anyone listening on channel E6, you said? E6? Fans, we thank you very much, and we appreciate you. This is a great time of the year, a excellent moment for all of college football, and we're just pleased and happy to be here. And we're happy that we can represent the University of Washington at this time.
this, and what's that? E1 down the way, is that where Michael Penix is? I'm guessing he's got some listeners. They probably listen to you.
Yeah. I don't blame them.
You've said it, but he really is. Everything we dealt with was Super Bowl was awesome. He's a Heisman Trophy finalist.
Yep.
So he's,
You would know it.
right, exactly.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Very good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I wanted to ask you, just first of all, from a coach's perspective, preparing for almost a month for Texas and having all that time with the players, and now just a normal game week to prepare for Michigan, is that easier as a coach to just coach the guys for a normal 7-day game week, or is it a little bit different? Is it exciting? Kind of what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's definitely exciting, but it just goes back to your normal game week of preparation. The only thing you have to deal with is just, the travel is a little bit different, kind of when the game day is, dealing with some of these things that we're doing right now, but in the end, it's still going to come down to blocking and tackling on our end.
In Michigan, with J.J. McCarthy's ability to get out of the pocket, throw on the run, and then also now they've been implementing Alex Orji a little bit more into the offense too. How are you able to try to, number one, contain the quarterback from running outside the pocket, and also making sure that they can't make a big throw downfield as J.J. loves to extend plays every single time?
Yeah, and that's going to be a big task, and that's something that they've been able to do game in and game out. It's like they run, and then you get hit with the play action pass, or you pressure and he can be elusive enough to be able to make you miss, and now they get the guys kind of, number one, and the guys running down the field. So that's going to be our challenge, and that's what we've been practicing for the last few days of practice.